Sustainable development is currently the most important paradigm in international development cooperation around the world. The SDGs are 17 specific goals for sustainable development, adopted by the United Nations in 2015, with the aim of all countries participating together to pursue social, economic, and environmental sustainable development by 2030. The concept of sustainable development began to be used in earnest in 1987, when a report published by the World Committee on Environmental Development defined it as development that needs of the present without compromising the possibility of future generations to meet their own needs. At the Millennium Summit on Sustainable Development, held at the UN headquarters in New York in September 2000, the concept of sustainable development discussed so far was refined into 8 specific goals, named the Millennium Development Goals. In 2012, the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development, Rio+20, began the process of implementing the SDGs based on the existing MDGs through the document The Future Want and the study of the UN High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. In addition, discussions were conducted on measures related to development financing. In September 2015, the UN Sustainable Development Summit adopted the Sustainable Development 2030 Agenda with 17 SDGs as its core. Based on the Sustainable Development Goals report released in July 2023, the first goal is no poverty. According to reports, if current trends continue, more than 4 billion people are on the verge of being completely unprotected during the COVID-19 crisis. It is important to enhance economic opportunities, improve education, and expand social protection for those most at risk of poverty, and investment are critical to fulfilling our promise to end poverty and not create marginalized people. As such, specific sub-goals and interim checks are described for all 17 goals. The EU is a leading global partner for the SDGs. Through international partnerships, the EU is pursuing progress toward relevant SDGs along with EU priorities, from design to implementation to reporting. Since December 2021, the EU has been rolling out Global Gateway, a sustainable investment strategy for infrastructure around the world. The 3 pillars of sustainable development are economic, environment, and social, and the 7 priority areas of sustainable development are sustainable and inclusive prosperity, green transition, ocean governance, digital governance, and partnerships, connectivity, security, and defense, human security. The EU is adopting a whole-of-government approach to implementing the SDGs. And the 6 Commission priorities are interconnected with the 5 Ps: people, planet, prosperity, peace, partnership of the preamble of the 2030 Agenda. The EU presents a variety of specific sub-plans to implement the SDGs goal. For example, with regard to no poverty goal, it aimed to reduce the number of people at risk of poverty or social exclusion by 15 million by 2030, set in the European Pillar of Social Rights Action Plan. AC and Green Initiative, BAC AI pumped hydro storage project in Vietnam, and Digital Transformation and Connectivity Initiative in the Philippines are some specific implementation examples of these 17 SDGs. Also, in the case of Korea, under the Green Partnership of Korea and the EU, efforts such as implementation of Paris Agreement, importance of renewable energy, energy efficiency, and so on are underway. As such, sustainable development is now one of the most important paradigms worldwide in the 21st century. Leave no one behind is the principle of 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It means the shared commitment of countries that everyone will work together to secure the rights and happiness of everyone around the world. Achieving sustainable development goals requires unprecedented efforts by individual governments and a global coalition for sustainable development goals-related actions across businesses, civil society, local authorities, and so on.